Hello, everyone. It's your girl Tyece. I am tuning in from Maryland. I have me some notes here. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you continue to be informed as I continue to bring you more videos. Now, if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you. I thank you all for your support and your stopping by. And this is a brand new channel. I'm super excited. I'm a little bit nervous as well. Picture that. I am not new to doing videos, but I am new to sharing, videos about my life. Okay, this channel was supposed to been started years ago. Okay, years and years ago, but I'm now breaking out of my shell. I am coming out of my comfort zone because I want you all to know if it's possible for me. I am putting it out there. It's possible for you. I am naturally, as I'm gotten older, I'm naturally a positive person, but I have endured a lot. And I have my days just like we all do. I am still human and I have a lot of healing. But one of the best things that has happened to me along this journey, this is a new channel and I know is meeting some people that are now my family, and I hope that you all become a part of my family as well. I have met some amazing people that I have built some great relationships with on my other channel, and I hope that this channel I can do the same. But this channel is all about it's going to be emotional roller coaster. It's going to be some good times, more good times, hopefully, than bad, because I have a whole lot more things that I'm grateful and thankful for, good times in my life than bad. But I want to share my story in hopes that it can help someone know that better days are ahead. And if you don't take anything else, you all get the help that you need. Okay, get the help that you need to become the better versions of yourself. I have a church. I do believe in God. I pray a lot, but there are so awesome some other things that I'm implementing because I'm on a journey of healing. With that said, this video, all my videos are going to be talking about, this channel is going to be just talking about my journey, whether it's in the past or now moving to the future, because I want you all to just know more about um, what are some of the things that happen in Tyce's life. Okay, I live in Maryland. I've lived in the Washington DMV area. It can be DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I've lived in DC. I grew up in DC, but I moved to different parts of Maryland, throughout my life. I want to let you all know that. But primarily, I've always lived in DC and Maryland. All right, so you'll know a little bit about me as I go. I'm gonna give you more insights and more things. I'm not gonna try to keep my videos too long, but I love to talk. Okay, we're gonna just keep it 100, and I love building relationships in life. I was told, my brother reminded me, life is about building relationships and showing love. Okay, that's two things, two takeaways I want y'all to take from that. Okay, so let's get into it. This video is going to be me being a young mom and some of the things, and I'm going to be talking about my son, one of my sons. I do have two sons. The son I'm speaking of right now is the son that's no longer with me. I will be sharing some things about my younger son. My oldest son left me in June of 2019. I'll be sharing different videos about that. So definitely, you all, some of these videos you may want to grab some tissue. I'm not going to be able to tell you all. Hopefully I don't bust out crying doing my videos, but I'm just going to keep it real, keep it 100. I'm going to put it in God's hands, and that's how we're going to do this. So being a young mom, working, raising a child with ED. I don't like to place labels on my oldest, but I really don't like to claim that, but this is how they categorize him once they realized that he has some things that he had to deal with in his life. Let's say that, okay? But they labeled it as ED. So ADHD for the ones, ADHD, you can look that up. They have ED and then they have LD. My son, Kyrie, was labeled with ED because his was more of the emotional. He would act out, he would do a lot of things. His was not learning. If he didn't show different things that were happening once he started school, but that affected his learning. Even though my son was very smart, he was loving, he was outgoing. Um, everybody loved to be around him and so much more. But early on, this is how they categorize my son, just so you all will know where I'm going, okay? Just so you can kind of understand. And I'll share different videos, but it was hard as a young mom having a child, and he was a joy. He was a highlight of my life. I don't regret anything about my son. I would do it all again, but I would do some things differently because as time goes on, you learn. But I've always been there to the best of my ability. Um, he had to take medications. Can you imagine a young person having to deal with that? He had to take different medications. I had countless doctor's appointments, his physical regular appointments, and then we had different appointments about this, you know, different teams of people. Sometimes I'll be in different meetings discussing, not to mention the classroom. So it's like countless appointments on a not a daily basis, but different times. So my grandmother, I'm so blessed for my grandmother and my mom. They did their best. My mom was working at the time. She's retired now, but at the time my mom was working, I was working, but it was hard for me to keep jobs because I would, some of the appointments my mom would try to go into. My grandmother more, she was running the daycare. She would take my son to a lot of appointments so I wouldn't have to leave my jobs, but I end up losing countless jobs because a lot of the appointments at some points I would have to be there being his mom. And because my son, from day to day, you did not know how he, depending on how he was feeling, how he would act. Um, you just didn't know what type of day he was going to have. So me being a young mom and not really understanding what was going on with my son, what was happening to my son, his dad, we tried different points of my son's life, but I think for different things he was dealing with, he couldn't be there in the way I needed him to be there with our son. So that caused a lot of problems between me and him. So it was just like a big roller coaster, even right there. So as you can imagine, as time would go on, it would just seem like to me at some points it would be a lot of fun times. I would, have to learn how to raise a child with different um, emotional things that could happen at any given time. All right, and they're still trying to work, still trying to work a job. Jobs come and go, and then at some point it just was a lot on me. Okay, the only thing I would do different with that is I would have gotten, like, I would take my son to therapy. Of course, I would have therapy sessions concerning my son and things of that sort, but I needed to have therapy for just with me about what was going on with me with dealing with my son. But then at that point, you all, I never understood. I don't know how in the world I would have fit that in. Me trying to still land a job is so many hours within a day. But I wish that I could have tried to fit that in as well. My grandmother was a great support system. She had more flexibility than what my mom did, My mom and my grandmother, I would let them kind of care and for my son more than the other family members. And sometimes I would, but not often, because my son, I felt that mm, my grandmother had a daycare. She was trying to work with me more, so she kind of understood a little bit more, and maybe the other family members did, but I guess I didn't feel comfortable because they had their own children, and I just didn't want my son to stand out, because from each day he could become different. Now, I would sometimes let his cousins come over at different points, and we would go out and have a good time and things, because I felt when they came over, my son was right there with me. I'm always on guard. I knew how to handle certain things. It was when he was out of my care, I mean, when he wasn't around me, is when I got a little nervous, because it was medications my son had to take. He had to take them. He had to. And later in life, it wouldn't be so easy to get my son to take them, and that'll be on another video. But starting at a being a young mom, having a child, my son started when he was 3 or 4, 5, somewhere around then. It developed. I noticed he was having some struggles with school, and acting out in school, to where I had to come up to the school. And my grandmother, a lot of times I couldn't come up there, so my grandma was at the school, she was at the appointments. But it came times where I had to be in certain meetings as his mother, because there was certain questions they couldn't. Like, it got really real to the point where my son he wasn't able to stay at that school because they wasn't able to, the classroom size was too big. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to end this video and kind of make some of them a little bit shorter. But when I tell you, raising a child with emotional um, disabilities, I feel better saying that, were just different challenges. Day to day, you never knew what the next day would bring. He would have his good days and he would have his bad days, and then I would have to learn how to cope, work with my son. It wasn't I had to figure out a way to learn how to raise a son that was dealing with different issues. Okay, different issues, and it was not easy. It was not easy. It was one of the hardest things I had to do, and that's something I just would let go. I just continue to go from year to year to year, and at no point, other than I think on my last video, I did try therapy once or twice, but I didn't continue on with it. And I did say, now at 53, I'm really starting to see I should have at some points made sure I took care of myself. But like I said, I don't regret having my son or dealing with it, but I would do some things different. And these things, like something like this, you all, I think I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I would learn later that his father had some issues with certain things he did that I did not know until after the fact. So it gets weird, you all, but I think a lot of my life I've been looking for love in all the wrong places. Okay, I will say that I've been giving and pouring my heart into the wrong people. I take accountability. I do take accountability, because they couldn't be there if I didn't place them in my life. But I don't blame myself. I don't do none of that anymore, because what good is that going to do? We learn from our life experiences, and we're supposed to make better decisions as times goes on. But with that said, my son was loving. He People loved to be around him. He was very outgoing. He loved to be around his family, his friends, and just do different things. And he didn't mind trying absolutely anything in his life. Like I'd be like, oh my goodness, what is this boy about to do now? He's always tried to work. Sometimes jobs didn't work out very well because he's even growing up, he had some different challenges that he would always have to face. But this is something that I have had to deal with. Learning how to raise a child with different emotional challenges. Okay, and that was one of them. And this started when my son was young. Okay, and it's so much more. It's so many layers, you all. And as things come to my mind, I will share them. And I was my son's best advocate. Okay, I wish that I had a work from home, or I could have done another type of job where I could have been there a whole lot more for my son. But I was trying to work and balance working with a child that had different needs. Okay, let's say that. So that's I'm going to end this video because it'll get way too long. But this is what led me to where I am now. I want y'all to kind of get a picture of, like, how did Tyece get to where she is now? Okay, how did she get to where she is now? And to be honest, you have to love yourself. And sometimes adding the wrong men in your life, this is just me. I'm not telling you all what to do. I'm just sharing my life. Remember that. Adding the wrong people in your life just intensifies the situation in a bad way. And adding my son's father, I love my son. I'm glad I've had all the years I've had with him. But Lord, sometimes, okay, sometimes I just wish I could have did things differently. Let's just say that. Okay, let's just say that. And I wish I had a better support system with the dad, with the type of child. And I think maybe he did the best he could with the cards that he was dealt, because he couldn't do but so much because of the demons that he was fighting. So I'm just, look, we're going to get into it. We're going to dive deep. And for y'all to really understand, I got to share it. I got to share my story. And my story is to be shared so it can help the next person understand you're not alone. Okay? It's a lot of people that could be sharing their story, but for whatever reason, maybe the time for me is now. I've been wanting to do it, but it must be now because I'm sharing it now. So we're going to roll with the time is now. But I've been wanting it. This has been placed on my heart for a very long time. But because I have, um, it's not the easiest things when you're trying to share things that you went through. Like I stated in my last video, it's reliving it. But we're all in this together, and we're going to get through this together. But if you're if you were young, I'm 53 now, but back then I was, young. When I had my first son, I was very young. But at the same point, I want you to understand is it's never too late. Where you are now doesn't mean you have to stay there. The takeaway is to please get the help you need. You can go to church, you can have a pastor. If that's working for you, that's fine. But sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zones, from our family, from our friends, because a lot of times they're going to tell us they're going to do the best they can to help us. But for me, my therapist is helping me. And that's my first time doing therapy in many years. Okay. But I'm going to continue my therapy. I don't want to take medicine. I forgot to tell y'all. She asked me, did I want to take medication? And I told her I don't want to take no medication because I'm already with the health and wellness company. They have some phenomenal products, and I try to, get those to the best of my ability. And I want to do natural, so I don't want all those different things in me. I don't take a lot of medicine. I do take blood pressure, and my doctor told me that's a low dosage because my pressure fluctuates sometimes, and she want to make sure I'm safe. So that's fine, and I plan on trying to get off of that as well. But I don't take a lot of pills. Um, so with that said, I am taking it day by day with the good Lord above. That's what I'm doing. So with that said, you all, I'm going to end this video, and then I'll share a little bit more, to piggyback, talk about my son some more, and then we'll go into something else. Because things, sometimes it hits me, you all, and I don't want too much on me at one time. I want to kind of space this out because, like I stated, when you talk about this stuff, it relives it and it makes you think about it. And I got to bring some joy. I want to bring something else. I want to mix this up. So, with that said, I hope this helps someone. But I love you all. You're not alone, and better days are ahead, and we're all in this together. Okay, this is Tyece tuning in from Maryland, and I'm out for now.